Innovation is frequently lauded as the driving force propelling communities, corporations, and individuals forward into new realms of possibilities. However, it is not generally acknowledged how important intellectual honesty is in this process. Intellectual honesty, or the dedication to finding and acknowledging the truth, even when it contradicts our prior assumptions, is a crucial pillar of creativity. In this video, we will look at why intellectual honesty is important for innovation and how it fuels creativity, promotes development, and leads to a more connected and involved world. The essence of intellectual honesty. Before delving into the relationship between intellectual honesty and innovation, let us first define intellectual honesty. At its foundation, intellectual honesty is about being honest with oneself and others, especially when it comes to beliefs, ideas, and knowledge. It is the willingness to confront biases, recognize limitations, and seek the truth, even if it challenges pre-existing ideas. The power of intellectual honesty in overcoming cognitive biases. To understand how intellectual honesty fuels creativity, we must first acknowledge the cognitive biases that frequently distort our thinking. Cognitive biases are regular patterns of judgmental deviance from rationality or norm. These biases frequently drive us to make less than objective decisions and create views. Confirmation bias, for example, drives us to seek evidence that confirms our pre-existing ideas. Positive events are attributed to our character by self-serving bias, whereas unfavorable events are attributed to external forces. To be intellectually honest, we must confront these biases and strive for clarity in our thinking. We create an environment open to new viewpoints and fresh ideas by identifying and acknowledging our biases and limits. Fostering innovation through open-mindedness. Promoting open-mindedness is one of the key ways intellectual honesty encourages innovation. Individuals and organizations become more receptive to new information and other points of view, and they are willing to recognize they do not have all of the answers. This openness fosters an environment in which new ideas can develop and take root. Consider the Post-it note narrative. Dr. Spencer Silver, a 3M scientist, first created a weak adhesive that was inappropriate for traditional uses. Rather than dismissing the notion, he shared it with a colleague, Art Fry, who was willing to experiment with new applications. Their partnership resulted in the widespread and very inventive Post-it note. Learning from failure and adapting. Intellectual honesty is also important in how we respond to failure. Innovation frequently includes taking chances, and not all risks result in success. An organization or individual that is intellectually honest about its shortcomings can make better decisions in the future. Innovative thinking is distinguished by a willingness to learn from mistakes. Failure is an essential component of the innovation process in the realm of entrepreneurship. "I have not failed," Thomas Edison famously stated while constructing the light bulb. "I just discovered 10,000 ways that will not work." Edison's intellectual honesty about his multiple failed attempts resulted in one of history's most impactful inventions. Cross-pollination of ideas and disciplines. Innovation typically thrives at the crossroads of various fields and ideas. Individuals who are intellectually honest are more likely to study and appreciate topics and knowledge that are outside of their comfort zones. Biomimicry, for example, uses natural inspiration to tackle human problems. This novel method is the product of scientists, engineers, and designers being intellectually honest about their limitations and looking to nature for new ideas. The role of intellectual honesty in ethical innovation. Ethical considerations are an essential component of creativity. As technology advances, so do the possible ethical quandaries that develop. Intellectual honesty directs our approach to these difficulties with integrity. One prime example is artificial intelligence. As AI systems become more complex, ethical issues about bias, privacy, and decision-making processes have emerged. Intellectual honesty in leadership. Innovation isn't limited to individual creativity, it's also a product of organizational culture. Leaders who foster intellectual honesty within their teams create an environment where innovation can thrive. Transparent and honest leaders encourage their employees to voice their opinions, admit their mistakes, and take calculated risks. Challenges to intellectual honesty. While the benefits of intellectual honesty in fostering innovation are clear, it's important to acknowledge that it's not always easy to practice. Several obstacles exist that individuals and organizations may face when trying to embrace intellectual honesty. Ego protection. Admitting that you don't have all the answers can be difficult. Intellectual honesty frequently necessitates confronting one's own limitations, biases, and knowledge gaps. This can be a humbling process since it requires us to admit that our views and viewpoints are not without flaws. Protecting one's ego can result in cognitive dissonance, in which people hold to their previous beliefs despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. Overcoming this problem necessitates developing self-awareness, humility, and a willingness to revise one's beliefs in light of new evidence. Cultural norms. In certain social and organizational environments, conformity is valued more highly than independent thought. Inconsistent thinking and opposing viewpoints might be discouraged by conformity, which makes it harder for intellectual integrity to flourish. Innovative thought can be stifled by groupthink, a condition in which members of the group value unity and consensus over critical thought. People who live in societies that place a high emphasis on conformity could be reluctant to voice thoughts or beliefs that disagree with the norm out of concern that they would be rejected, ostracized, or excluded. In order to overcome this obstacle, communities and organizations need to make a concerted effort to create a climate that values intellectual honesty even in the face of social norms, celebrates independent thought, and promotes a diversity of viewpoints. Short-term thinking. The current world's pressures, with their emphasis on quarterly earnings, instant results, and short-term rewards, can impair intellectual honesty. Long-term thinking and investment in intellectual honesty may not generate instant results, and this misalignment with short-term priorities can drive individuals and organizations to disregard the pursuit of truth. However, it is critical to adopt a balanced approach that addresses both short-term requirements and long-term sustainability. Fear of repercussions. Fear of penalties is one of the most serious barriers to intellectual honesty. Being intellectually honest may include confronting unpleasant truths, admitting mistakes, or questioning authority. In some situations, such activities can have negative effects, such as harm to one's reputation, job security, or social status. Leaders can encourage their teams to choose truth-seeking over self-protection by creating an environment that highlights the significance of honesty. Conclusion: intellectual honesty and innovation are two sides of the same coin. Individuals and organizations that are willing to be intellectually honest about their views, prejudices, and limits foster innovation. It is not enough to seek the truth. It is also necessary to use that truth to promote positive change and progress. It is the key to unleashing the boundless potential of human creativity and propelling the breakthroughs that will shape our future. We don't just support innovation by encouraging intellectual honesty. We also pave the road for a better, more honest world. Let intellectual honesty be our compass as we traverse the ever-changing terrain of ideas and technology, guiding us towards a more innovative and true world. If you found this video insightful, please hit the like button and subscribe for more content that delves into the factors shaping our world. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the power of intellectual honesty and driving innovation. May intellectual honesty be your compass as you navigate the ever-changing landscape of ideas and technology, leading us to a brighter, more innovative, and truthful world. Until next time, stay curious, stay honest, and keep innovating.